Welcome today, another fantastic session looking forward to with Peter Knight, head guru EA Masters. We are having this series of exclusive discussions with Kerfuffle and Peter Knight here to look at the trends and the different topics that are going on at the show over the full fantastic 6 months of EA Masters now. We're going to look today, Peter, if that's okay. First of all, welcome. Sorry, I don't forget my pleasantry. We're going to be looking at structures here, aren't we? And you've got a particular angle on this, I think, today you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I call it ancient and modern. This idea that you've got, if you like, a number of new structures that have risen to the fore. And what I'm observing is that you've got a sort of dichotomy going on where some people are saying traditional is best, it's the only way, and others are saying, actually, no, the new methods are the only way. And I actually don't think it matters. Okay. And what I mean by that is I think that it doesn't matter what methodology you pick, whether it's a traditional high street-based estate agency business, or on the other extreme, something that's completely online only model, or somewhere in between, some sort of hybrid. What matters is actually delivering on the model brilliantly well. So I can make a case for each of the different models. So when agents say things like, oh, you know, the high street is dead, or, oh, he's not a real estate agent, he's operating out of his bedroom, or whichever sort of derogatory term
it's
they
about the
apply.
customer service, isn't it, ultimately?
Ultimately, completely. And I think that we get hung up as an industry, certainly certain forums get hung up, on this sort of discussion around which is best. Actually, it's not a case of, it's doing whichever one you pick brilliantly well that matters.
But isn't it interesting as well, over the years, you know, you were a proponent, always never been afraid to step out against the herd mentality. And you know, some of what the online agents, you have defended robustly at the early stages. Some of it, especially some of the tech elements, were particularly good. And although traditional agents would quite happily have a pop at the online agents, isn't it interesting now how so many of them are hybrid? They have client trackers, landlord trackers, they have the ability to book appraisals online, all of this stuff, obviously, because it works.
It does, Simon, and here's the thing, which doesn't sit well with some, I'm afraid, but as you say, I've not been scared to state opinions.
It's the kerfuffle, we don't mind that.
You bring it out. You bring it out. We do the Best Estate Agent Guide assessment every year, and we have done now for a number of years, and we analyse every single transaction in the marketplace that is conducted on Rightmove, and indeed other agents who are not on Rightmove.
Just a minor logistical challenge there?
Well, 3 billion pieces of data a year assessed. And some people will say, oh, we don't measure the right things, but we measure the things that the consumer tells us are really important. And here's the thing. We measure Purple Bricks, we measure EXP, we measure Keller Williams, we measure every brand is included, the Modern House, and many, many others. And what we find through this research is that year on year on year, those models are improving all the time their average. Whereas the average, not the best traditional estate agents, but the average is actually going the other way. And at this point in time, I can tell you that now, that we've had a better response to our assessment from the new models as an average of the new models compared to an average. Because here's the thing, and traditional agents know this, the good ones know this, the very best ones are still, without question, the best agents.
And probably getting better, is that fair to say?
Definitely, the gap is widening. Yeah. But it's not just the gap between, Simon, the best and the worst. It's the gap between the best and the average. And the average, I'm afraid, is just not keeping up. And the new models are able to leapfrog them because they're using tech and they're using all the resources to enable them to deliver not the service that your very best traditional agent would do, but a service that's better than that poor, mediocre agent, which I'm afraid you can spot them on every high street, can't you?
Can I stretch an analogy, as you know I like to do? There's that concept of the tech wave, isn't there, and how a lot of tech models don't make it in that first iteration. And then they reinvent themselves. I mean, look at QR codes. QR codes dead and buried, obviously, over the last year, complete resurgence and everything else there. That is happening in estate agency. And so as you speak about, the online agents will come back, reassess, reform and go out there. And I think the challenge for traditional agents is to make sure that they're doing the same.
Completely agree. And look, the idea is this. pick the model that works for you, or even better, pick the model that works for your customer. So you identify what your customer wants and then deliver on that model brilliantly well, execute that model extraordinarily well. That's the key to it. And rather than saying it's only traditional that will work or it's only online that will work, no, it's not. It's, as you say, there is a hybrid. Every traditional agent is online. So there is already a hybrid. And the key is how well you execute the model, not necessarily which model you choose.
And look, one of the most fantastic things about EA Masters is there are always plenty of agents to hear who are testing models in different ways and everything else. Every single one of the events you put on, we get to hear from these kind of, these people, isn't it? So you can pick and choose the best bits of the solution.
And look, we're going to be sharing the data as well. We're going to be sharing the results. We're going to be analysing this at EA Masters so people can see for themselves. And as I say, some people won't like it. But that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Absolutely, that's how it works. Well, look, thanks again. Tune into EA Masters. Just look and listen to what those agents have to say. And you don't have to take every bit of it, but you'd be mad to ignore all of it. Thanks. Cheers.